Alex Smith, he is the former Utah star, went to the 49ers, also went to the Kansas City Chiefs, Washington football team, had one of the more serious, severe, near fatal injuries in football history, and decided to announce his retirement recently. And Alex Smith joining us on the program. Do you feel like a former player now?
It's funny because, through the injury, I kind of almost fell into that as well. Like I was on the brink of former football player for a while, so I felt like I've dabbled in this pool before, and so yeah, it's not unnatural for me.
But also, like, is your routine the same? Like, are you still training, working out? How does that work?
Yeah, I think my routine very much this time of year is the same. Yeah, I still mix it up. I love enjoying. I mean, as a quarterback, listen, me getting under a squat rack, 365 days a year isn't practical, nor does it help me be a better quarterback. So, for the last several years, I've enjoyed doing different things in the off season as far as training goes, and I still do those things. So that part of my life hasn't changed. I think here, as we creep towards summer and fall, obviously that's going to be the true test, because for every fall for the last, 25 plus years of my life, it's revolved around football, and that obviously is set to change. So I'm excited for it. I know it's not always going to be a smooth transition, but I look forward to the unknown and what lays ahead.
But is it your mind or your body that has to be convinced right now? Like,
Oh, my mind, without a doubt, my mind. My body has nothing to do with it. My body could I could still roll. I'm in better shape than I was a year ago. I mean, I think the further I get removed from this injury, I'm only getting stronger. So my body feels better and better now.
but your body reminds you there's certain times of the year where you go, I'm supposed to be doing this, like late July or August. Like, what are you going to be like on a Sunday in September?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. I don't know if I'm, if I totally know what that's going to be like, if I'm ready for it. And obviously, time will tell when we get there. Um, I do think, yeah, I mean, for a chunk of my life, yeah, that I've always had that release, to go to lace up cleats and get back out on the field and, um, push yourself in that kind of environment. And you can't simulate that anywhere else. You can't get that feeling, that rush, that sensation anywhere else. And so it is incredibly unique. So we'll see. We'll see if, if I do miss it. I feel at this point I'm in a great place. I've played a ton of football. I'm looking forward to all the things I can go do with my family and my kids, things that I've put off for a long time because of football.
When did you have that epiphany that you went, okay, I'm good with this?
Honestly, the first time I ever thought that it first hit me, this is no joke. I went skiing and snowboarding with my kids, and it was something that I'd put off for a long time because of football. Ever since I haven't been since college, and then when the injury happened, I doubted if I'd ever be able to go again. And my parents have taken my kids, so they're pretty decent skiers at this point. I haven't ever been with them, and I grew up. My dad taught me to ski when I was 2 years old. I grew up going with my family, and it was always this family environment. So I got to go this year. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience for me, full of the same range of emotions. And the night before, I had a ton of anxiety, couldn't sleep, wondering about my leg and how it hold up, and then to get out there with my kids and my dad also, and for all of us to be on the mountain together, and my mom, and it was an amazing experience. So for me, yeah, there was a moment where we paused on the side of the mountain, and my two boys were next to me, and my dad was there as well, and yeah, it definitely hit me that I want more of that. I want to chase more of that. I've been putting that off for a long, long time, and I can go do that now. And the reason I can go do it is partly because I pursued football. That I knew if I pushed football as hard as I could, all the other things in life, I wouldn't have any limitations. So I'm excited to go knock down some more walls that I've built up.
Yeah, but I thought it was a little pretentious of you to hold a press conference on the ski mountain there to announce that you were retiring. I mean, nobody
Yeah,
was there, but
yeah,
you had your moment, had your press conference, and I thought all along the last month or so, 6 weeks, that you would join Urban and go to Jacksonville and help tutor Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence. But I didn't know the competitor in you that wants to start. Do I want to be a mentor? And
Yep,
so I
yep.
wondered what was that? How difficult was that decision?
Oh, I think you hit it. I battled that a lot internally. Um, that role, and I have no problem, obviously, mentoring. I love it. In fact, being a young quarterback, especially a high draft pick and expectations, and I enjoy talking about the way not to do it. For me, how I struggled with those expectations and anxiety, and trying to get validation every single day. And I felt like I never allowed myself that process to grow into that franchise quarterback. I felt like I had to be that day one, and put a ton of pressure on myself to be that, and it just mounted and mounted, and it was this cycle that was not productive at all. So I enjoy trying to help, obviously, other young quarterbacks not go down that road, and there's a better way to do it, and but I do struggle with the sense of doing it in a role where you're playing, and preparing, and to be the starter, and to go out there and do that, versus the back seat that you really now, obviously it's a lot of talk. It's a lot of talk, less playing. And so struggled if I wanted to do that, what that looked like. So yeah, all those things. But Jacksonville definitely was same thing. It was something that was really interesting to me. Coach Myron and I are still close to this day. So, for the fact that I'll be close to 20 years down the line, and he's now in the pros, and to think about potentially helping him build that thing was exciting to me. But in the end, I think all those other things won out.
But if somebody offered you a starting job, if Washington said, "Hey, would we be having this conversation? Would it be a different conversation?"
Yeah. Oh, maybe. I mean, I think for me, I wanted to see all the options out there. I wanted to see everything that was on the table, obviously including retirement, and then make the most informed decision I could. I didn't want to rush anything. I wanted to see everything that was out there, and yeah. So I felt like I did that, um, and based off all of those options, yeah. At this point, I'm moving forward with retirement. I don't think you ever want to never say never, but yeah, I'm full steam ahead with that at this point.
He's Alex Smith, former football player. Your one leg got all the attention. It's your other leg that I'd like to give some attention to today.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, like it's done a lot of work there. Never gets any coverage, Alex.
Never, and it's I stole some muscle from it too. My right leg from my left. So my left's been really picking up the slack, and it's been shorthanded. So it's amazing what the human body can do. And I remember when they were explaining the procedure to me in the hospital, and I'm like, wait, you're gonna make my good leg, you're going to make it weaker. We're going to take one of my quad muscles. And I remember thinking at that point, my left leg was everything. I mean, the only way I got around was jumping around on my left leg at all. I mean, and I kept thinking, wait, we're going to make this weaker so that I can, and this one, it might not even work, is what they keep telling you. And so it's funny now looking back, they tell you that your left leg will adapt, and you'll be surprised at how strong it will get. And, they were right. Funny, those doctors were right. It's crazy how the human body can adapt. And I feel like my left leg's probably stronger than it was, but before the injury and the operation where they took my muscle.
You remember the last time we had you in person was in Minneapolis,
I remember it well.
and you got traded 5 hours later.
Yep.
When you came in to do that interview, did you know you were going to be traded?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Good
it
poker
was
face.
one of those things like basically the trade had been done. Nothing had been signed or anything, but they're still working out the details. Essentially, you're signing an extension as well. But yeah, that was all basically kind of in the works, and pretty much done at that point where I was with you guys that day.
What's it like, though, when And you're going to see Matt Ryan's probably going to see this. The veterans see this. Aaron Rodgers is seeing this. When all of a sudden you see the future and you go, we certainly could have used that draft pick on somebody who could help us this year. So when the Chiefs take Patrick Mahomes,
Yep.
your days are numbered. Did you feel your days were numbered?
I think there were a couple things. Yeah, I mean, well, obviously they're we moved up to take Patrick early, so I knew, no question. Obviously, the future was in him. I think for me, I was going into my 13th year, and I could either let this distract me from continuing to play good football, play winning football, and certainly there were a lot of media distractions that try to pit us against each other. Or, I could choose not to buy into that and really not let it distract me from what I wanted to go do and continue down my road towards trying to reach my potential and play the best, football I could play, which I felt like I was still going down that road. So I think through everything I'd been through, it was really me determined to not, essentially not let this become another distraction for me. And I think thankfully, and proud of the fact that, everybody included in that, Patrick, Coach Reed, the entire organization chose not let that be what everybody was trying to make it be, that it could be done a different way, that we could coexist, we weren't pitted against each other. And so, yeah, and ended up having probably one of the best years of my career, maybe the best, in the face of that. And essentially determined to tell myself that if I played good football, I was going to have a job, or I could let this distract me and not play good football, and then it would become this self-fulfilling prophecy.
You made it tough on all the comeback players of the year that will follow you, because probably not a lot of them. Well, did you nearly die? Did you nearly lose your leg? Well, Alex Smith did. Like what did you come back from? You really made it tough.
I think that it's hard. I mean, football, the crazy thing is, I think there's so much that goes on that doesn't get seen. I mean, obviously this is one of the most violent games on the planet, and the carnage, like the amount of guys that are up for comeback player of the year every single year, and the what they go through behind the scenes to get back, the surgeries, the toll this game takes on the human body. There's so many guys that deserve recognition. Certainly, obviously, what happened with me was unique, in the sense of obviously the breaking my leg and then the infection on top of it. So, no, I mean, everybody, there's so many guys that deserve recognition for what they put in, especially this time of year when no one's looking.
Yeah, but if they come back from meniscus tear or something like that, or like turf toe, come on, Alex. I mean, you made it tough. You did. You made it tough for all these other people. How do you look in shorts, by the way? Does your legs like you?
So it's funny. It's funny you ask. Like, yeah, it took me a long time to be able to wear shorts, and show my leg. It was a long time before I could even own that this was me, that I was proud of my leg.
Do you have your shorts on now?
It's not pretty, Dan.
Do you have shorts on right now?
I have pants on. I would show it off, but I do have pants on.
Take your pants off right now. Let me see what you look like, Alex.
No, it's not pretty, but I am proud of it, and what it's been through and what it means to me. But yeah, it took me a long time before I could show it off and flaunt it, and that I could own it. Yeah.
Thank you. It's been great watching you from the days in Utah to where you are today, and you get to spend time with your family. And I think, although I want to know what it's like, because when I left ESPN, I went home and I didn't have a job for 6 months. I was going to spend time with the kids, and I got home for about 2 weeks, and I went, "Oh my God, what am I doing here?" So you might have.
I think you're right. I mean, and I'm not planning. You can't do nothing. I can't do nothing. So I got to find something. But I think, what it is, can I find a balance,
Good luck, Alex. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it.
That's Alex Smith. Maybe they named the Comeback Player of the Year award the Alex Smith Award. Just throwing that out there.